Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. It's our Tuesday night edition, and back with us, Jack Lord. Hopefully feeling better, Jack. Feeling good, I hope.
I'm feeling something. I'm hoping it's good.
Excellent. And, of course, as always, we welcome you, all of our subscribers and the people.
You're wearing a scrunchie right now.
Well, thank you very much. That was Google talking to us. And I'm wearing a scrunchie right now. Power's been out here. In the at the establishment, and we had to go back and reset lights and everything else, and so now Google's acting up, but they don't. It doesn't listen in. No, it's not invading our privacy at all. No. But again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Pro Wrestling Inside Out. Tonight we're going to continue with our look at our list of the top 100. Brent has already listed his. And of course, Victor Nash, of course, Brent is getting better. I talked to him early today. He was before we came on, sounding great, and he's still in quarantine till Friday. And then he hopefully will be back with us on Monday. He's been doing a lot of work, so we're going to have a lot of good content coming up. I think he's got the Freebirds coming up again. And always a good study when you have the Freebirds. Brent, the top 100, and his list has one of the greats as far as I'm concerned. Probably the greatest black athlete, I think, ever, Thunderbolt Patterson. What can you say? Thunderbolt was, there was nothing, he was one of a kind in the wrestling business, or should I say, still one of a kind. No one could quite make that emotional connection that he could do. And his key was his way of speaking, his able to connect with people through the way he would speak. And many people would say it was difficult to listen to, but it's not. He spoke with such feeling, such emotion, he reached out and grabbed you. Thunderbolt was one of my favorites growing up. And when Thunderbolt Patterson, I love when Thunderbolt Patterson was on the card. And when he would they would get him down, he would beat, and he would make that slow comeback. And you could feel that power start coursing through, and he finally make that comeback. And he'd have that knuckles like this. He'd have them knuckles like that, and the people would just explode. Just awesome, absolutely awesome. What do you think about Thunderbolt Patterson?
I love Thunderbolt Patterson. I love the way that he would curse and never say a cuss word. I mean, you knew, even when I was a kid, I knew what words needed to be inserted, but I couldn't say them, and he didn't say them, but he left it to you, the imagination.
That's right.
Which is really one of the greatest magic tricks we do in the industry.
That was, and we're all sitting in the audience. We're at TBS, TCG Studios in Atlanta, Channel 17, and we know what and everybody said, you know what he meant. You know what he was trying to. He said, I'm going to whoop your. Ooh, I wish I could say what I could say. That's a gift, and that's years and years of experience. No one could do what Thunderbolt did. And we're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, a lot of the old timers kind of don't like when you describe professional wrestling as art. Mm-hmm. But Thunderbolt, was an artist. He knew how to paint a picture with his words, with the way that he said things, with the emotion he conveyed. He connected to people. Everybody in the industry today could learn from him, if for nothing else. Don't copy what he says, of course, but find that emotional connection, because that's what's missing today. He had that better than anybody of his time period.
To me, it didn't matter who he was against. Probably one of in Atlanta, especially, one of his biggest rivals was Ole Anderson. And the way he would say Ole Anderson, Ole. And he would say, and that stutter, I just did it myself. And you can't help it. It's contagious, the way his speech pattern was contagious. He said, this goes way back, Ole, trying to keep me down, trying to hurt somebody, think you're better than somebody. I love and like I said, you would hang on his every word, and that stutter was just perfection. It was him trying to find the words like I'm now, trying to find the words to convey the emotion. And that's what he did. He was able to tap those emotions. Just unbelievable skills. And I'll always think of him when I see back then, the Georgia television champion, Thunderbolt Patterson. Always. Didn't matter who held that belt. I always thought that's Thunderbolt's belt. Just fantastic. And so we have people already commenting about Thunderbolt. Let's go ahead and cover that right now before we go to the others, because it started last night when we were doing the show. We met the people said it's tomorrow night's the show about Thunderbolt Patterson, and well, it's not a show about Thunderbolt Patterson, but it is probably one of the greats and in demand everywhere at one time. I mean, he was in demand in Charlotte, and Atlanta, down in Florida, Texas, huge in Australia. Just awesome. Let's go through some of our insiders. Thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Joel Bateman, hello and blessings. Brian Young, last night, I don't know if you caught it last night, but I was stunned by Mr. Brian Young last night. He was in a mask. And the reason I was shocked and actually speechless, if you can imagine that, is to think that he would come on this show with a mask and challenge me for my belt. All I thought was, what kind of audacity does this person have? I would say, see, even the dog is offended.
Yeah, even the dogs.
I mean, when the dogs start barking about it, I mean, you've done something. But it had the audacity and the mitigated gall. And you often think, obviously, someone from New York. All right, so Glenn L. Shelton, hello, L. Terrence Hardy is on the program tonight. Hello, Terrence. Thank you for coming. Victor Nash, always great to see you, Victor. Hello, everyone. Get well soon, Brent. Yeah, he's doing a lot better, I think. He'll be taking another test shortly. Friday is his day out of solitary confinement. Jason Monday. Hello, everyone. Victor Nash, glad you're back, Jack. We all are. Let's see. Number 84, the Mass Beret. He's one bad man. That's the one with the mitigated gall and audacity to come on my show and challenge me for the belt. I say, how
I did not get to watch the podcast last night. I just felt so bad. But Brian, if it makes you feel any better, I'm going to go back and rewatch it probably tomorrow. And while I had it quite enough here, I got almost half the book read.
Excellent. Excellent. And the subject matter that we had last night, I want you and Brent to comment on. It was a tremendous subject. If you didn't get a chance, take a look at what we did last night. But I also want to get Brent. I told him today, I said, we got to get your and Jack's take on the same subject, because it was a good subject. And I think it speaks today's wrestling, especially. Wendy Harkin, thank you for coming, Wendy. Hey, Rodney and Jack, hope you guys are doing good. Fine here. Rick Books. Hello, guys. Hope all is well. Let's see here. Rushman. I heard Thunderbolt was tough on promoters. Well, he, from Dad's point of view, no, Thunderbolt was not difficult with him. There were some, and I knew he had disagreements over the years, whether I'm not sure whose side what was, but all I know, from my point of view, he was great. He was awesome. And I'm glad I got to see him live. I got to see one of the great matches. He and Ole in a cage match. It was the Georgia Television Championship against the $1,000 Silver Dollars. Not sure if anybody remembers Ole doing the $1,000 Silver Dollars for anybody that could beat him. Ole put up the $1,000 Silver Dollars against the Georgia Television Championship in the steel cage at the Omni. It was sold out. Thunderbolt wins the Silver Dollars. Awesome match. My grandmother came from Chattanooga, from Cleveland, and we all sat together. It was an awesome night. Wendy Harkins, get well, Brent. Jason Monday. Dusty Rhodes copied the London Thunderbolt style. Sure did. He sure did. Victor Ash, his number 84 is Cowboy Bill Watts. Another great. Another man that can tell that story better than anybody. Just awesome. Joel Bateman, his was 84 is the Iron Sheik. Kevin Penley, Hope Brent's feeling better as well as his wife. My 84 is David Von Erich.
Good choice.
Truly, probably would have been world champion
Yep.
if it went for the untimely sickness. You never know. I don't know. We got the announcement last night. I want to stop Jack during the show last night. Robert Walker was on. And his brother, John Walker Jr., passed away last week, and it was just shock. It was shocking. People are just sad, very sad. We grew up with him. Mark Carney, hello. I like your pro wrestling shirt. I'm talking about Jack Pro Wrestling Tees. Get the Pro Wrestling Inside Out. Richard Hood, and Richard, I bet we were in the studio the same time. TCG 1018 West Peachtree. That was a great place.
I can see Richard being one of those in there going, we know what he said. We know what he meant.
We know. Exactly. And Richard, I'm not sure I'm sure you went to both the new location and the one over on Techwood Drive. I always thought the Peachtree location had the better atmosphere. I'm not sure of your point. Let us know what you thought. Stuart Kemp, hello. I can appreciate the postponement of the big show in October. Out west, we are seeing that there is maybe changes in shows and events. The latest with KISS, both Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley coming down with a case of the COVID. People needs to, and they cut us off at that point. Jack, you want to clarify what because
our show for October the 8th that was scheduled to be in Lafayette, Georgia. Georgia is already shutting down. A lot of the cities are shutting down their facilities. We don't have control over that. Lafayette has not shut theirs down yet, but they've had a major outbreak there, so it's probably going to happen. So we just thought to err on the side of safety and honestly financial responsibility on our end that we would just postpone for the next few months and reschedule after the first of the year, and hopefully we as a world can put all this behind us. I'm not, endorsing shots or not shots or whatever. That's a personal decision to me, but I just want everybody to be safe. The stuff's real. I had it last year. Brent's dealing with it for the second time. It's a part of our lives, and hopefully, first of the year, things are going to calm down. We had actually planned to do this in April of this year.
Yes. And
we kept having to put off. And then we picked October. We thought things were going to be good, and now things are not good. Right. So hopefully, after the first of the year, maybe by April of next year, we'll revisit and try to get something set.
Awesome. Andy McDaniel. He's of course the author of the great book behind me. Hey guys, great show. Indeed, Thunderbolt was special. And I truly believe that. No one, and I'm not trying to take away from others. But Thunderbolt was that special. He could steal the show. It didn't matter who was on there. I watched him with Sting and with others on a set, and Thunderbolt absolutely, took all the air out of the, took all attention away from all the others. He was just awesome, Greg Hickey, good evening, guys. Kick your natural. Oh my, is Bolt still around? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. And there, I'm not sure. Did Cornette have something bad to say about Thunderbolt?
I'm not sure.
There was, I was looking through for videos before we came on with Thunderbolt, and he had one about Mr. Cornette. And I'm not sure exactly. I didn't get to listen to the whole thing. Because as we know, Thunderbolt takes a minute to get started, and he was just getting warmed up. He was just getting warmed up. Murdoch and Rhodes were a good team as heels. They were.
Texas Outlaws.
Glenn Allen Shelton, Lost Art.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go with Rick Brooks. Thunderbolt was one of my favorite heels in the Detroit territory in the 1960s. Yeah, he was pretty good. It was I watched the match, and of course Thunderbolt was it was Dusty at this point. It was Thunderbolt Patterson against Dusty Rhodes from Florida. Got to check it out. It was really a good match, really a great match, and Jimmy Golden was involved in that one. Michael Wallerson. Good evening, everyone. Let's see. We're going to go with Charles Bellflower, number 84, Jody Hamilton, the Assassin and the Flame. Both of them, all three of them, as number 84. Jody Hamilton, the Assassin, and the Flame. Kevin Penley, can't say no more. I'm full. Yes. I don't know if you remember when Jimmy Hart, when they were doing the championship wrestling from Georgia, and Jimmy Hart had come out there and got in Thunderbolt's face, and Thunderbolt just took his glasses off and said, "I will whoop anything you got between two shoes." I just thought that, and I mean, Hart's going 90-0, and just that one thing, I mean, just pulled the rug completely out from under him. And I'm like, yeah, he will. And yeah, I used that. Not as good as he did, but I used that when I was growing up. Thunderbolt, he was awesome. Thunderbolt can draw a crowd, but only could be in the territory for a short time because he was an attraction. Yes, absolutely, and someone in demand. Like I was saying, no matter it was in Charlotte, they wanted him. Crockett's wanted him. Atlanta, Florida, just awesome. Kevin Penley. Good to have Jack back. Yeah, awesome. Mickey Mayfield. I loved to tell him how I feel all about that, but I'm so full. Gordon, help me. and I tell you, and me, I've heard people criticize that. No, that was the deal, because you felt not just with his body language as well, felt that emotion, and it grabs you. It grabbed you. And you're saying, yeah, he's mad. He's ready to whoop somebody. Yep. Just great. Just great. Richard Hood, when the houses were down, they would bring back Thunderbolt. Yes, absolutely. Because Thunderbolt's name on the card meant something. It made the show bigger. Just great. Thomas Alexander, hey guys. Glenn Alexander Shelton. Did he tag with JYD? I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I don't remember that.
He might have before he was JYD. That could where we ran down some of the matches that Thunderbolt was in, I believe, Texas. I think when we ended, we was covering his career. I think that's where we ended up. Could be wrong about that. So how many times did Ernie Ladd turn on Bolt? We don't count that. It's just it's kind of like
every opportunity.
And Ernie Ladd, but it worked. It worked every time. And it was Ernie, and the way Ernie Ladd called Thunderbolt Thundermouth Patterson, that was just great. Let's Thundermouth Patterson come out here. I will shut that man's mouth. I wish he'd come out here right now.
Two guys at the top of their game, completely different speaking styles.
Yes.
That it works so well for both of them.
Yes. Just great. I'm having some other things pop up. Hold on. I don't have any idea why it's doing that to me, but here we go. Michael Barr, I'm here. Well, hello. We have a tornado warning around us. Keep an eye out here. We'll be back later. Well, take care, Michael. Take cover. Let's see. Brian Young, my girlfriend just said I look like the Wookiee luchador last night in the mask. Well,
wait a minute. You got a girlfriend? You got a sister?
Oh, well. Yeah, the Wookiee luchador. Boy, she's supportive. I'll just tell you right now. I remember Lars Anderson doing it in Florida, the coins. Yeah, the $1,000 He certainly did. Richard Hood, Brent, correct. I went to both. Yes. And that's all right. I will not hold it against you. You call me Brent. I'm Rodney. But that's okay. I'm not. Wait a second. Victor Nash stirring it up tonight. You guys like my CM Punk shirt? Wait a minute.
Victor, just between us, I would have one, but they don't come in black.
Sorry, I meant Rodney. Brent has been on my mind. Yes, well, and we're thank you very much for that. He'll appreciate that. He's get vaccinated. I am. That's what Victor said. Let's see. Steve Richards says his number 84 is Billy Robinson. Just tremendous. Great match with him. Billy Robinson's in a tag match against Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch. And truly awesome. Richard Hood, Rodney, he did. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I guess it was about Cornette, talking about him. Cornette just referred to him as an MF. Okay. Which he used to describe a lot of. Well, I was thinking.
Yeah, I was going to say Cornette kind of uses that almost as a term of endearment.
That is correct. And I, for years, many people thought their first name was Mother.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Mine was for many years as well, because Dad liked to use that word.
Well, I kid all the time about growing up. Till I was 18, I thought my name was Damn It Boy.
That's right. That's right. My 84 is Chicky Star.
I'm kidding. My daddy never cut.
His is Chicky Star. I think he was big. If I'm not mistaken, Chicky was big in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
I remember. Richard Hood, Thunderbolt was a great heel too. Yes, and that's that goes to his talent. Really, it's just tremendous talent. Let's go here. Kevin Penley, do you think Thunderbolt character would work in today's WWE? Thunderbolt wasn't a character. There wasn't a character. I don't think. I think it came from legitimacy with Thunderbolt, and I think WWE could use a good dose of.
Well, he was authentic.
Yes,
he wasn't made up, and if you ever had the opportunity to meet him, which I really didn't meet him until well after he retired, but when you sat at a table with him or whatever, the Thunderbolt you saw on TV was the Thunderbolt that's sitting right there beside you. He may not be quite as loud or as boisterous, but he's still that same person. And that authenticity, again, is just one of the many things missing today.
Yes. And right. And the way that Thunderbolt was able to connect with the crowd, Thunderbolt could not do it. Let me be very clear, with the script. He could not do it with the script. It had to be his own words, his own thoughts, his own ideas, because if not, he couldn't. I don't think it would come over as what we were saying, as authentic as that. Thunderbolt and Ernie Ladd were a great tag team. Yes, I just saw them and they were talking together. And Ernie, I'm not sure what he was wearing in that interview. I'm not sure what that was. It was a one-piece something or another, leisure suit of some kind.
Oh, I've seen him wear that. Yeah,
it was the 75. It was when
those were hot during the 70s. I had several.
Yes, they were the Soul Patrol. Yes, and that's what they called him. Michael Rollerson. Remember when Ernie turned on Dusty? Sure do. And you can see that on the internet, on YouTube. It's on there. David Von Erich, David, Kerry, Kevin is higher on his list. That's Joel Bateman, and they were all great wrestlers. And there are no similarities, I don't think, of any of them. David's style was different from Kevin's and Kerry's. They didn't try to copy anybody. The only thing that was probably signature with them was the claw, to which they didn't use, which like Kevin did not use, and David, either one, did not use in Georgia. I'm not sure why. Florida, because he was signing autographs instead of wrestling. That's right. That was pretty good to admit. And Ernie telling the story. Did Cornette ever actually bring his mom on the show before? Not that I know of. We wanted to bring someone in as his mother, though. That was rejected, though. Anyway, the mystique of Cornette's mother, they said it would destroy the mystique. Do you think Thunderbolt had a Jimmy Valiant type persona?
I think Jimmy Valiant had a Thunderbolt persona.
Yes. He said, Richard Hood said those guys were styling and profiling. Yeah, Thunderbolt was. And I like I said, I always loved Thunderbolt. Always. Against Ernie Ladd, against Abdullah. It didn't matter who he was against. King Kong Mosca. I'm not sure, Richard, if you remember the interview that Thunderbolt was getting ready to go against Mosca. He was a Georgia heavyweight champion at the time. And he came out with that ping pong ball. And he was bouncing it, calling King Kong ping pong. He's ping pong Mosca. Oh, he's so big and bad, of course. And Mosca was 320 pounds. Can you imagine? And not really, it was nothing fat. He was monster. He was a
Yeah.
monster. And I was shocked. I thought he is Georgia champion. I didn't think anybody was ever going to beat him. And we did. Wrestling 2 beat him with the knee lift at the City Auditorium. And when Dad came in, I had the program. I said, "Who won with Wrestling 2 and Mosca?" He said, 2. And I said, "What? How?" He said, "Knee lift." It was great. Tim LaFountain. I don't know. Maybe that's what they calls him LaFountain. Hi guys. Hope all safe and well. Sure. Let's see. Wasn't that Cornette's mom in the gorilla suit with Dusty?
That wasn't the suit.
Yeah, I remember King Kong Mosca. Yeah, Mosca. He won. If you remember, Stan Hansen was stripped of the Georgia title because he did not defend the title in 30 days because of his battles with Abdullah. And then they had a tournament. Mosca was the champion, and he was huge. He would do that if I walk, I talk, I do exactly what I want, and pretty much, yeah, that's what he did. 320 pounds, and the first time I think we saw him lose a match was King Kong Mosca against Mr. Mystery non-title match at the Atlanta City Auditorium. And a guy came out with a Wrestling 2 mask on, beat him up, small packaged him, and it was Dick Slater. And so Slater, the former Georgia champion, against King Kong Mosca, big build up. It was pretty good. Mosca was tougher than a dollar store steak. Sure was. Richard Hood. Great Canadian football player too. Yes. Joel Bateman. Goldberg has major medical condition. He might be done.
Nah, they wouldn't be still pushing him on WWE if he was done.
Richard Hood was asking, whatever happened to Mosca's son?
They sent him back for training, and he didn't survive.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
Good looking kid, but
yes.
he was not a chip off the old block as far as the athletic ability to do what his dad did.
And it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Lots of times, a lot of the sons, second generation, third generations come back and they try to use their name, father's name. And lots of times it's a mistake because you just can't live up to that. You've got to make your own way. Mark Tyler, let's see what we got here. Worst wrestling spot in the 70s, Ole having Thunderbolt in a side headlock, Thunderbolt slipping out, Ole still cranking down on the headlock like he still had it on. Then Thunderbolt would tap him on the back and punch him when he was turned around. I'm sorry, I liked that.
I did too.
Because he made Ole was so vicious. And they complimented each other with how bad Ole was. That was how good Thunderbolt was. It was great. Let's go with Joel Bateman. I hope so, Jack. Joel Watts. Joel Watts was good. Joel Watts was good. I like Joel. He was awesome. And as far as his, he put together a lot of great videos. Commentary, but and he was a good guy. Joel was a good guy. Like Joel. Let's see. Mosca's son versus Eric Watts could win.
Well, Mosca's son, I never heard a bad word about him, but he just wasn't. I don't think he had the heart to do this industry. Eric, I thought was great.
Yes.
His only problem was that everybody knew he was Bill's son.
Yes.
And that was held against him by promoters, bookers, everybody that could do something to stop his push did so. And that's sad because he really was talented.
Sure. And again, what we were talking about, sometimes it's better to have a different name than to try to come with an established name like Mosca or Watts for sure. Let's see. Wendy Harkin, Thunderbolt Patterson would make anyone look good in the ring. Yeah. And Thunderbolt's ability to sell unrivaled, really. for sure. Joel Bateman, poor Eric Watts. Now we're moving right along here, and we've got 20 minutes to go, and I haven't got my pick in. You haven't got your pick in. What is your number 84 pick for tonight's
My
festivities?
pick for 84 is Rocky Johnson.
Rocky Johnson, the soul man himself.
Great,
One of the great drop kicks. One of the greatest drop kicks. He was the one that did the rapid drop kicks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Tremendous run in with Jarrett against Jerry Lawler, Southern Heavyweight Champion. Tremendous in Georgia. Rocky was just in tremendous condition, always in tremendous condition. Then later on goes to the WWF, and he and Tony Atlas become the tag team champions. Just tremendously gifted wrestler, and like I said, always in great shape. And was he and Tony was over up there in the WWF with him. Let's go with Mickey Mayfield. I never liked the mixed tag matches with the regular wrestlers. The midgets, they were never believable, but there wasn't meant to be. Wendy Harkin, Rocky Johnson is a good one. Yes, great choice. Great choice from Joel Bateman. Yeah, Rocky was awesome. When you think about Rocky Johnson, I'm always think of he had a big feud with the Mongolian Stomper, of course, and of course I don't know who didn't. And then with Jerry Lawler, I think that was some of his best stuff. I think back then.
He was a draw everywhere he went.
Yes,
and that's a testament to his abilities.
Glenn Allen Shelton. Rocky was a very nice man. Yeah, and a tremendous wrestler. Richard Hood. I like Rocky Johnson. Yeah, and he didn't stay long in Georgia. He was there. He made it. We liked him, and I think for all practical purposes, I think his stint in Memphis was probably one of the best back in the day, if you will. So yes, Rocky Johnson, tremendous. Also, as we know, the father of Dwayne Johnson.
Yep,
The Rock. Johnson had fast hands. Sure did. Absolutely. Kevin Penley. I don't have Rocky on my list. I mean, it's what you've seen. And I assure you, my list and Jack's list is different. It's just who we've seen, and I think it depends on where we were raised, where we grew up as well. Because a lot of people would not have some of the people that I'll have on there for sure. Joel Bateman, fan of Rocky Johnson. Richard Hood had a cup of coffee in Georgia with him. Oh, we must have Richard on to tell about this.
No, I think that means he didn't stay in Georgia very long.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Brian Young, Rocky has a shocking pick, 84, Kevin Sullivan. Yeah, I don't believe.
All right, we're fading to black.
Well, once again, the New Yorker, the one that had the audacity and mitigated gall. I'm taking it from Louis Albano to challenge me for the belt. Once again, has tried to provoke me yet again. I assure you, my 84 is much better than that choice right there. I promise. Let's see. Kevin Penley, Rocky was the first bodybuilder type wrestler I ever saw. And he always in tremendous shape. He really was. Rocky was sparring partners with George Foreman. Oh, George is quite a character too. It could have fit in wrestling easily. I mean, George was awesome. Let's see. Whoops. I keep hitting the wrong buttons there. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. Paul Orndorff is in my top 25, Joel Bateman. Now, as we are closing in, we got on Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is a great, and of course, Rocky, just tremendous wrestlers. And we're not going to be doing the 8:30 show, so if we need to go over, we'll go over. Try to make sure we get everybody in tonight. Saw Rocky in person for the first time, 1968. What city was that in, Rick? Let us know. Like I said, I saw Rick. First time we saw Rocky was here in Chattanooga. He was working with Nick Goulas. And again, Stomper was here, Jerry Lawler, Dutch Mantel. Let's see, Glenn Allen Shelton. First seen Rocky in St. Louis. Then they had to him in the auto signing in 2012. Tremendous. Next one. But George Foreman is a great guy, one of the nicest guys I've known. I love watching George Foreman. I used to watch him in all of those interviews. He was hilarious. Just a great guy. Does Rodney have Norman the Lunatic on his top 100? Let's just say he may or may not be on the list. Who knows? Let's see. Had a little all Rob McKay. Thank you for coming, Rob. My number 84, as time ticks away here, my number 84, I think is someone that really doesn't give enough credit for. There's nothing he's another that nothing he could not do. You ask him whatever it is you ask him to do, he can do it with perfection. Lots of times just the opening match, but it was hard to follow him. And the one I'm talking about is Scott Armstrong, number 84. Could wrestle a broomstick and make the broomstick look great. He was just tremendously gifted. Great in the interview. Some of the great matches that I've seen him with, he and Bill Ash tore the place down. I mean, tore the place down every time they wrestled. Scott and Tom Pritchard, fantastic matches. And I just think that he doesn't get enough credit. And I think it's that whole WCW thing where they try to humiliate them. And I'd really think that was what it was. It was complete and total humiliation for the Armstrongs, and all of them can wrestle circles around most, especially, let's just be honest, Scott could wrestle circles around Sting and Luger. Again, not the biggest guy for sure, but a tremendous wrestler, gifted and a nice person, and a great family. Just fantastic. What did you think about Scott?
Oh, I love Scott. We've been friends since from the day I met him, really. He and Brad were the first guys to come up to me at Continental and welcome me in. And Scott was always such a level-headed guy. I always loved dealing with him. If he had a problem with anything, and I saw him have a few issues with some guys, he didn't lose his cool. He'd take them off, and they would hash it out, and they would come back. I mean, total professional. And the fact that he still continues working in the industry is a testament to how good Scott was.
Sure. Absolutely. Joel Bateman, The Rock, definitely in my top 15. Glenn Alton Sheldon, Macasine, Norman. Let's see. Richard Brooks in Cincinnati for the Sheik promotion. Okay, that was for Rocky Johnson. Yeah, Rocky is awesome. Brian Young. Oh, great pick. Very underrated worker. Yes. Scott, for us, Scott was always just, you knew it was going to be a great match. I'll tell you right now, Scott and Ted Allen, we had a show in Tuscaloosa, and Scott and Ted Allen tore the place down. It was a 20-minute match, a 20-minute match, just nonstop, and just no better, really, than Scott. Wendy Harkin. Scott was an amazing wrestler. Yeah, and a great person as well.
And here's a little tidbit. Scott and I were tag team partners for a little while.
Wow. Kevin Penley, what does Vince have Scott Armstrong doing now? I think you alluded to that.
I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, but he's down in NXT and works behind the scenes. I don't know. I had heard that he was handling the timing of the matches. I'm not really sure. But he is great talent. He was over, or pretty much over, the women's division for SmackDown and Raw for several years. So, this evolution of the women, a lot of that needs to be credited towards Scott, who really pushed that and helped those women, come out of the shadows up there.
And really the women steal the show right now from my point of view.
Absolutely.
Glenn Allen Shelton. Yeah. Scott's a good ref too. Scott's good at anything.
Yeah.
Scott was great at anything, even ring announcing. When they had him, when it was doing the thing when he was hurt, when he was doing the ring announcing, was good, very good. He was great. He was a great event coordinator as well. Armstrong, great wrestling family.
Yep.
Absolutely. Rushman, my only chance to see Thunderbolt was ICW. I wish the promotion would have taken off. Absolutely. Stuart Kempt, but it was Norman the Lunatic, better than Moccasin. Probably better than the Bastion Booger and Solomon Grundy. And then maybe Klondike Mike was a possibility, or Klondike Mike Shaw in Germany. Decisions. Yes.
I liked Singh. I really did. Of all of those incarnations, I think that was the best one for him.
Let's talking about Scott's. He's a producer for NXT, is what Wendy was saying. Brian Young, 84, another Buffalo, actually Kenmore guy, a New York guy, Adrian Adonis. Yeah, Adrian, unbelievable talent, absolutely unbelievable talent. Just awesome. Do you ever guys have any Danny Hodge stories? And we never really were in a place where Danny was at. I know he was big in Oklahoma, Texas area, just tremendous. And for many years, world junior champion, just awesome. Terrence Hardy. What about Charlotte's match last night?
Wow. that was, I watched it again today just to see if I was loopy last night and didn't catch it all, but I did catch it all, and that was not good. And it wasn't Charlotte. And I've been kind of a defender of Nia Jax. I think she's got a lot of talent, but it just seems like the more she's pushed, the sloppier she gets in there.
Right. Kevin Penley, he forgot Trucker Norman. Yeah. Joel Bateman, Adrian Adonis, definitely in my top 50. Yeah, it's a tremendous wrestler, Adrian Adonis. AWA stuff, just awesome. Richard Hood, Dan Spivey, number 84 for him. Greg Hickey, Haystacks, Calhoun, top 100 for sure. No steroids, just taters. Yeah.
Lots of taters.
Solomon Grundy still travels to Mexico City to this day to work with his talents in the locker room. Clinton Bayshore. Yeah, just awesome. Yeah. I think we've had some good ones tonight. Scott Armstrong, Rocky Johnson, Thunderbolt Patterson. A lot of great memories. Like I was saying, Scott was time. I think at one time in Continental, especially, I think Scott was the best.
Yeah.
He really was, and great United States junior champion. Did that Rat Patrol thing. I never did quite understand what that was about, but okay. I know it was Rich, Armstrong, and Tonga, but not quite sure why it just continued.
Well, say that for the private channel.
That's right. Tons of taters, Joel Bateman. Yeah, tons of taters. Stuart Kim, Micah Singh was great in Calgary. I found out that it was actually that it actually had a definition, better line, but focusing did not translate. Rest in peace, Gary Albright. I agree with Nia Jax. Saw the ladies early in the show. It was horrible at the end with Jax.
What is the one that they just brought back? The redhead. I mean, she's gorgeous, but she's horrible. And Nia Jax actually was able to make that girl's match look good.
Well, maybe that's the reason they had her on, to balance it out a little bit. Action, Mike Jackson for 84. Ricky Watt. Yeah, Mike was great wrestler. He still is a great wrestler.
Yep.
Kevin Penley, do either of you have Sid in your top 100 list? We're talking about Sid Vicious.
Either that or Sid and Marty Crawford. Now, I'd put them over.
Richard Young, they were saying Becky Lynch. Is that what you're talking about?
No, gosh, I can't. Her name's right at the tip of my tongue.
Well, we may have it later on. Down
She
here.
wrestled that girl that she had been Dewdrop Eva Marie. That's it.
Okay.
Eva Marie.
Yeah. She might be dating someone. Keeping her on the show. You never know. That has never happened before. No cats. She's just fantastic. Wendy Arkin, of course, everybody's coming up with it.
Yeah, everybody knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, everybody's
that pretty girl that's horrible. Oh, that's Eva
right.
Marie.
Wait a second. Joel Bateman, Sid may be on my list or may not. Depends. Clinton Bashmore, Piper Nevon can go.
Yeah, she's really good. She's the one that was in there with Eva Marie. She's an endowed young lady, but she is absolutely fabulous. She is so good in that ring, and I'm glad that WWE is actually doing something with her.
And then she couldn't wrestle before. So
yeah, and you'd have thought, because the big deal was they were talking about she'd been off training, learning, supposed to be a whole lot better, and boy, she's not. Now I can see the reason why you would have her is part of the roster, but I would not be having her in there having matches.
She has pink hair.
Pink, okay. Yeah, she was red. She was red for forever.
Yeah, she's pink hair now. Very stylish. I do watch the show with the sound turned off, and it helps me a whole bunch from throwing up. Eva Marie still can't wrestle worth a flip. That's what
I'm not sure if she could flip.
Oh boy, Clinton, can we get Britt Baker versus Charlotte match?
That may happen.
Never know. Richard Hood, Jack, do you remember Dinah Girl and Electric Woman from the Sid and Marty Krofft Productions?
Yes,
I do. I watched it every week. It was campy as all get up, but I liked it. And the lady that played Electric Woman, Deidre Hall, ended up being on Days of Our Lives. And she just all of a sudden appeared. She was just Electric Woman like one week, and the next week she's on Days of Our Lives. My mother watched it, and we had to as well. And if we didn't shut up, we had to go in another room. That's the way it was. It's my time to watch TV. And Glenn, yes, Richard, yes. They had a remake of that. Not too good. And it has a lot of potential. She's better off as eye candy manager for whoever is a heel team.
I agree.
Let's see. Thunder Rosa is another impressive.
Yes, she's very good.
Let's see. Joel Bateman, in my humble opinion, Lita was a pretty good wrestler.
Yep, I agree with that.
All right. Well, we're caught up. We're caught up. And I believe that puts us right at the end of the program tonight. We did good. We did good. And we hope everybody got in. I think we got everybody in. Like I said, Topper 100 tonight. Number 84 for Brent, Thunderbolt Patterson, Rocky Johnson for Jack, and for me, it's Scott Armstrong. And I always liked Scott, no doubt.
Trevor Murdoch, NWA World Champ. I'll hit this real quick. I have known Trevor for a long time. He was trained by Harley Race. I've always thought he was an outstanding talent. Is he a body guy? Not by any stretch of the imagination, but talent-wise, he's as good as anybody in there. And he's one of those guys that would have survived back in the territory days. He's that kind of a talent. And Harley is the one who actually put the Murdoch name on him because he looked so much like Dick Murdoch.
Yeah.
So I was happy to see him get that. I have not got a chance to see that NWA pay-per-view yet because I'm cheap, but I've got to get it because I know so many guys that are part of that promotion now, and and I want to support them.
Absolutely fantastic. Thunderbolt number 84 for Anthony Lewis. Thank you for Anthony for joining us tonight, as well as all of you. We've had a great time. Thank you, Kevin. We've had a good time tonight, as we did last night. And Brent, hopefully, will be back with us next Monday. We'll get it all started back. We'll be starting to do our 8:30 shows as well, and we're going to make up for the lost time as well for all of our insiders. We, as always, thank you very much. Thank you, Jack. It's been a pleasure as always. And until next week, we will see you for another edition of Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. Good night, everybody.